Jordan, and today
I'm going to be talking about my least favorite One Piece arcs. And just like in the last video Jordan allowed me to do on this channel, I'm only going to stick to the books. So unfortunately, if you have watched the anime, I will not be doing any of those anime filler arcs that we don't like, except for the G5 one. We all love that one. So I got my phone right here. I got it narrowed down to 8 because that seems to be the zone that Jordan seems to like for the length of her video. So yeah, I'll start counting down. Okay, so number 8 is Syrup Village. In all honesty, I feel like the one that portrayed this one the best was the live action version on Netflix. I feel like condensing it down really did a lot. I know some people didn't like that, but I felt like in the manga and in the anime, both, it stretched out way... It's like, it's not that bad. I like the villain. The villain was fine. With Kuro and Django, it was like, they were fine. The introduction to Usopp, that was fine. The Usopp pirates were kind of funny. You know, the joke about where it's like, where's your captain? Zoro tells them we ate him, and then they look at Nami, cannibals! That was pretty funny, but it just goes on for too long. I feel like in the manga, the battle goes on for too long. Some of the running gags go on for too long, and they made this even longer in the anime. So unfortunately, it's not, but that wasn't enough to like get me frustrated with it and totally put it at number 1 spot. No, if you've read the manga, you know what my number 1 spot is. But number 8 is Syrup Village. Okay, so number 7 is Punk Hazard. This one kind of has the same problem as Syrup Village. It goes on a little too long. I really do feel like they dragged on. Caesar Clown is not a villain where you needed to have a re-battle with him. It should have been punch him out, done. Like, really, it should have been the equivalent of how Luffy beat Buggy in the Orange Town arc. And it should have been done, but unfortunately, it went longer. The Cool Brothers were pretty dumb. They were pretty dumb. They just kind of, they're supposed to be these great assassins, and for some reason they didn't do a good job at all. There were some cool moments. I think the one redeeming part, and that's why this is a little more higher than, and there's a little bit of a redeeming part where it's like Zoro gives him that pep talk, hey, we're in the new world, we can't be careless anymore, and Luffy always takes what Zoro says to heart. So that's a little bit of a redeeming thing. But then, again, we stretch it out. We have that stuff with Virgo and Trafalgar Law and all this really stupid stuff that shouldn't have happened. It should have been, we're here, let's team up, we need to take down Kaido. Okay, bye, we're done. Oh, we'll take these kids too. Whatever, it should have been boom, boom, boom. It wasn't. They stretched it out, and that's in the manga. They stretched it out. And they stretched it out even more in the anime. So yeah, number 7, Punk Hazard. Okay, so number 6, and before I actually say what it is, spoilers. Some of these, you know, you should have already read by now, but yeah, spoilers. Hopefully Jordan will put like a little spoiler warning somewhere on the video or something like that. But it's the return to Sabaody. This is another one where I think that they could have condensed it a little bit more. There was a lot of, like, oh, Zoro was the first one, but then he got on the wrong boat. Sanji comes along, is doing some shopping, which is essential. He's the cook. He's got to make sure he does that. But then there's like that, there's the thing with the Cypher Pole agents who kidnapped the wrong Robin and all that stuff. And they really dragged out, you know, Luffy coming back. Which again, in the anime they stretched it out longer. But in the manga, it already felt pretty long as to be. A lot of these all have the problem of just being stretched out too long. I really do feel like it would have been better if we could have hurried up, and then maybe like while they were going down to Fishman Island, they could have like told stories of what it was like to train and everything with their different with the different people. I know they do that later on in like Wano and all that stuff, which I'm glad we got some reveal about that. So that was nice. But yes, number 6 is Return to Sabaody. Now, number 5, my number 5 least favorite one is the Amazon Lily arc. This is the island that Luffy got sent to after their devastating defeat at Sabaody for the first time. This one, again, it's got a length problem. It definitely has a length problem. There's a lot of stretching out. Plus, there's a little more to that. I don't like the gag. Like, the Kuja pirates are they're pirates, which means that they sailed the world, which means that they probably have met men before. But for some reason, they came across the belief that all men can stretch. So every single time they see a man, they tug on his cheek, they tug on his elbow, you know, they tug on like all, like the legs and everything to see if they can all stretch. And I'm like, okay, so I can get this for like some of the Kujas who were on the island who didn't really go travel with Boa Hancock and the other Kuja pirates. I understand that. So I can understand how that could happen. But I don't understand how the people who actually were sailing on the seas do not know that men's skin does not stretch. It just, I'm like, okay, can we get rid of this gag? It's stupid. And I don't know why Hancock and her sisters do not feel like this caveman-esque like behavior. It's stupid. These are supposed to be like these great warriors, and they like dwindled every single They're supposed to be a great warriors, great crew, and they dwindled this down to just a stupid joke that all men stretch, so now we have to tug on men's skin to see if they stretch. Yeah, number 5, Amazon Lily. Okay, number 4 is the Jaya arc. Jaya is right before Skypiea. I actually like Skypiea. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I actually do like it. It's not exactly my favorite, but I don't feel like it's my least favorite either. I feel like it's just fine. Jaya, I feel like, is the worst part, because Jaya is the island that they get to get ready to go to Skypiea. And they go to Mocktown. And they meet a pirate named Bellamy. And Bellamy spends like 3 or 4 chapters mocking Luffy and Zoro and telling them how terrible they are. And that's basically the whole arc. It's just you have to deal with Bellamy, this really annoying character, and his crew, who are just extremely annoying, and all they do is just laugh at people and make fun of them. And it's like, they never really prove that they're a strong pirate crew, and even when Bellamy and Luffy actually fight, he just kind of hops around like a crazy little pinball and makes fun of him. And it's like, dude, because it's like, you know, when like Buggy or Arlong or some of the other antagonists, even like Crocodile, when they made fun of Luffy, they had something to back it up, and they showed that they could back it up before they started mocking him. He just started mocking him, and he had nothing to back it up, except later on we find out he ate a devil fruit. That was it. To me, that's not enough. If you're just gonna show something of people mocking someone over and over and over again, it's just a waste of my time. One of the things that, I don't know, maybe I should have put this a little more higher on the list, was we got introduced to the Blackbeard Pirates for the first time. I did like that, especially because it was a very unique villain intro. Usually in a lot of things, including One Piece, the villain is introduced especially someone that's like a main villain, is introduced in the shadows, and they talk to each other and gloat about how this is going to be fun or something like that. Nope, he was a drunk idiot who likes cherry pies. And in fact, Luffy and Blackbeard got into a fight because they didn't agree on how the cherry pies and the drinks tasted. So Blackbeard liked the cherry pies. He said they were the best cherry pies he ever tasted. Luffy said the cherry pies taste like crap. Then they said, you want to fight? Then they took a drink. He said, this drink tastes awful. This drink tastes amazing. Then they go back to, you want to fight? And I do like how he did give that kind of... It's so funny because also the villain gave the main hero an uplifting speech about how you should never give up on your dreams and how that's never gonna die, you know? That new era that they're talking about is a load of crap. But yeah, number 4, Jaya. Okay, so number 3 is the Straw Hat separation arc. This is an arc I definitely kind of felt like should have been covered. Speaking of the manga specifically, this is something that I feel like Oda could have covered in like a series of cover stories, because we had enough arcs in the separation part that where you could have done like cover stories. This is what Zoro's up to in the cover. Chopper, Robin, Nami, Frankie, Brook, and Usopp, Sanji. You know, you could have covered all that and just the cover of the chapter. No, you dedicate the a whole couple chapters to one Straw Hat. Then you go to the next chapter and it's like you do this one. I just felt like we could have had more stuff added into what Luffy was doing with Impel Down and with Marineford, instead of like, wait a second, hold on, I need to pause the story for a second and write about what the other crew members are doing. We have to talk about how, like, Brook is worshipped as the devil, and so everybody gets him panties, and so he gets men and women's underwear. It's essential. I'm like, no, it's not. It's a running gag. It's another thing for you to do, a running gag that doesn't work. It's funny when Brook does it on the ship because Nami beats him up for it, and so it's like a 2-second joke. But these are people who are dumb, and they think that they successfully like got something out of it. The one there are a couple exceptions here and there that I feel like make this a little more enjoyable for me. Is of course Frankie and Chopper's story. I like that, but I don't feel like I needed to wait. That Oda needed to waste a chapter on why Usopp became overweight. It was really stupid and a waste of time. Also, Nami's was okay. Robin's, I think, was the best one because it was showing like it was more revealing the truth of how the world works, and as we proceed through. But all in all, I really feel like a lot of this stuff could have just been, you know, I mean, okay, Zoro gets lost, whoop-de-doo. Point to an arc where he doesn't do that. I just feel like this could have been done as like a quick little chapter by chapter story that you just read before you read the full chapter. That's all. So number 3, the separation arc. Okay, number 2, and some people might not agree with me on this one, is Levelly. The Levelly arc is what a lot of the royal families did. This is post Dressrosa. So it's what the royal families are doing at the meeting of all these different like governments, and they're discussing like stuff that they should do for the world government. It's kind of like the UN. So it's a lot of talking and not much stuff gets done. And so they were going to push the fact of abolishing the warlord system. I really do feel like, again, this could have been just something he could have put on the introduction of the chapter instead of dedicating a whole chapter to it. There was some stuff that did make it a little bit enjoyable. And for the record, I do enjoy these. These are just not ones that I'm looking forward to reading or rewatching if it's the anime. I just felt like there was a lot of stuff. The one thing that makes this so much forgivable is Charlos gets hit in the face for the second time during that arc. That is the only thing that makes up for that, him getting hit in the face. If I remember correctly, in the manga they don't have him say anything, but in the anime they have him say a bogey bogey while he's like flying off and like skidding across the ground like a skipping stone. Seeing that guy get beat up is pretty funny. So it's enjoyable, but all in all, I still think that could have been like just trimmed down to just like a quick short story at the beginning of each chapter. You didn't need to focus that much to stuff. And then, you know, there is later on when you get to Egghead, they do explain like what kind of happened in between when they just cut it off. Because then they just cut it off, which makes it feel even more like a waste of time. There's not a closing to that. You had to cut it off. We had to go back to Wano. And find out what the Straw Hats are doing, and then we go once we're at Egghead, we gotta go all the way back to see what happened in between that stuff. No, you could have just done this, and then you could have dedicated that chapter. You still could have had that chapter in Egghead, those chapters in Egghead, and it would have explained a lot of stuff, because all the interesting stuff happened there. It's kind of like, to me, there's a channel called Channel Awesome. They talk about like all these great monsters doing their tax returns. That's what it's like to me. So number 2 is the Levelly arc. Okay, so number 1 is Long Ring Long Land arc. This one is by far the worst arc. It is so bad that people swear that it's not even a real arc in the manga. Most people believe that it was just the anime that had it, because usually the anime has the really long, crappy arcs for this. But no, this is a real arc that you have to read through in the book. But I say, skip it. There's only one part that happens that's important. That's when Aokiji shows up, because it kind of explains like how high does the rankings go with the Marines, and what a Marine Admiral is like. What is their strength like? Because we only know about Vice Admirals. That's about as far as we knew at that point. And like, why is there only 3? And we see why. It's because he basically trashed the Straw Hats in a matter of seconds without even breaking a sweat. They barely escaped that, and the only reason is because it was Aokiji. His motto is total Slaven justice, meaning that he stands for justice, but he's incredibly lazy. They had some pretty funny jokes with him. One of the jokes that I hated so much was naming everything. Like, there's a long dog. He's called a dachshund. And then there's a horse. So everything you just really hold on, like, the word. It got really, really annoying. Luffy was eating a long kiwi. That was stupid. And then, of course, if you've read it, the dumbest part, the Foxy Pirates. Oh my gosh. It was like, why? The only thing, like, they did the Davy back fight. It was stupid. It was dumb. I don't know why in the anime they thought, let's make this longer. I'm like, when I actually, because I already watched this in the anime before I read it in the manga. Then when I got to that part, I was like super looking forward to Water 7. I'm like, okay, you know, I can skip. I'm not going to do that stupid Foxy Pirate thing because there's no way it's real. And I looked at the cover, I'm like, it's real? It's actually been, like, Oda took his time to write that? And oh my gosh, his laugh, the fee. Stupid. It's just stupid. And there's nothing gained from that at all. Foxy is definitely a villain that should have been introduced in East Blue. So stupid. There's some kind of funny jokes between the Straw Hats, though. it's like I'm trying to think of something positive that came out of this, but really nothing. Aokiji is about it. And the only reason that was at the end after all that stuff. That's the tail end. So, Matt Owens, if you find this video, cut Long Ring Longland out of your show. It does nothing for the story. And thus far, in the manga where I am and where everybody else is, they have shown that some arcs that we don't like do have some significance, and they play a part in this. Long Ring Longland feels more and more like a waste of time the further and further they go in the book. So the number one least favorite arc of mine is Long Ring Longland.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed Kevin's least favorite One Piece manga arcs. But if any of you have read One Piece manga, let us know in the comments down below what's your least favorite arc, because I'm pretty sure Kevin's like, do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? But everybody has their own opinions. Anyways, also, if you haven't already, click the subscribe button, click the bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I post new videos. Also, you can follow me on social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads, which all links will be down below for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!